Hi, I'm Keith Simon. This is Keith Financial Fix, and together we're going to get your money right. Hey, Dr. Jewel, welcome. Wow.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I am super excited. Let me tell you, when it's time to talk money, I am always excited, and it looks like you're the same way.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Super serious about that.
Welcome to Keith Financial Fix. I'm truly honored, truly delighted to have you. I've read some of your stories, follow you on Instagram, saw your husband's story. I'm a former athlete as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I played a lot of soccer, and interestingly enough, sometimes your destiny is somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I have found mine here. So
yeah.
let's talk money.
Absolutely. Congrats on your books too. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
really
you
good.
so much.
Yeah, I love it. I love to see people of color, get involved in the space because I think it's a conversation that we have to have a lot more of.
Awesome. So I am determined to write my own personal. This is the book that we share is literally 4 concepts and conversations by the company. But let me tell you, I heard some small rumors around that you have something big going on when it comes to books.
Yeah. So I have an ebook coming out called Cryptocurrency, basically for beginners, because I want to make sure that our people are ready for what's going to happen in this next decade. And I don't want them to think that Bitcoin is a scam. I want them to understand. I want them to get curious. I want them to ask questions, because I really believe the people that position themselves right now in the crypto world are going to be some of the wealthiest people in the world. So that book is coming out August 1st, and then I also have another book coming out later on in the year, I think October, November, called The Mind of a Millionaire. So basically, we're dealing with a lot of mindset things, pivoting, shifting, disruption, innovation. So those 2 things are coming out, and I'm excited about it.
The disruption of the universe pretty much is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the disruption of, really the world, but definitely disruption economically is definitely happening right now. And most people don't realize disruption is happening. Most people don't see a recession before it happens. It just shows up and they're like, oh my gosh, we're in a recession. But there are always indicators to let you know where we are. And recession is not necessarily bad if you're positioned. Rockefeller became wealthiest during the Depression. But what happens is when people don't study money, they don't know about money, it seems like they're working for money. So that means they're always chasing after money. But when you get education, you can set yourself up to have money chase after you. And recessions don't necessarily have to mean hardship for you, for the person that's educated. It could actually mean a serious upturn for them.
Hey guys, this is Keith's Financial Fix, but this is your host, Dr. Jewel. Hey, just to be funny, of course, but this is exactly what we talk about every time we talk about the show.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about financial concepts, and these concepts are what is really going to be disruptive in our community. I have a young man, I asked him, I said, I'm interviewing a millionaire. What should I ask for? 10-year-old. You know what he said? He said, I don't know. So I said, come on, you have a question. He said, I don't know. So I said, you have a question. Come on, you're smiling. Something is going on in your mind. You know what he said? He said, ask her for money. I said, what? He said, yeah, well, she's a millionaire. Ask her for money. And I say that to be a little bit humorous, but at the same time to be serious, because it's very seldom that we know and we can touch physically our community, touch a millionaire, really touch a millionaire, really have a conversation with a millionaire, and know and understand what that means.
Yeah.
So I said to him after the interview, I'm going to give him a shout out.
Hey!
Exactly.
Yeah, but the best thing you can ask a millionaire is how they got it, right? Because somebody, you can give me $1,000, right? And I would be appreciative. But what's even better is if I could make money in minutes.
Guess what?
And if somebody teaches me that.
And the funny thing is, the other saying that I've learned over the years is success leaves clues.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that would have been my next question
yes,
to you, but you answered it.
Yes, yeah.
That is awesome.
It's almost like you talked about the questions. You got to stay curious. Ask questions. Dig deeper. Don't be afraid. It's so funny. One of my wealth mentors, I asked him a question. I just asked him a question last week about his portfolio because I'm liquidating a lot of real estate and I'm putting in a cryptocurrency, and I was kind of setting goals on how much crypto I wanted to own by the end of 2021, how much, and I was asking him about liquidity. And I said, Chris, how much do you think I should have, knowing my portfolio, should I have in liquidity? In the bank, and also maybe stored in some other private places. And he answered the question, but not only did he answer the question, he started sending over contracts of real estate deals that he's doing with numbers. So most mentors, wealthy people, they're looking to give the information. They just need you to pull on it and keep asking. So anytime I ask him a question, he always gives me way more than what I asked for. So I think just asking the questions and then be willing to do the work and then go back and ask more questions. And I think that's probably a real key, being willing to do the work, because it does take work. It does take sacrifice. It takes discipline. And that's the thing that most people aren't willing to do, right? So I'm in New York today. I'll be back home tomorrow. I'm in Aruba Wednesday. Then I'm in Baltimore Sunday. Then I'm in Tennessee Tuesday. Then I'm back in Atlanta Wednesday. So that is a lot of discipline. We were drinking water, right? Because I know I got to stay hydrated, right? I had my nurse come over yesterday to give me 2 IV infusions. That costs money. So wealth is more than just money. It's the acumen and the strategy and the discipline and the diligence. And I think it's all those things, and just being open to keep learning.
So let me ask you, because I heard something else. Thank you for that. I heard someone says, there's a quote that I kind of keep in mind all the time. It says, to be wealthy is hard, but to be poor is hard, or to be broke is hard. But in your own lifetime, choose your hard. And it's interesting because you choose to travel around around the world or around the country to make sure that your hard becomes easy.
Yeah.
Because again, the other thing that I always hear successful people say, and you can agree or disagree, which I think you'll probably agree, is it's hard to do whatever you have to do, but then it becomes easy in the long run.
Yeah. To me, being wealthy is not hard. I love it. It takes a lot of discipline, but it's not hard. I think if anything, being broke is definitely hard. But I think it's, back in the day, was the way the middle class was formed was through, the factories, or people went to factory and they use their hands. And so it's like handwork is what most people are used to, but now it's brain work. So to become wealthy is brain work. So when I have downtime, I don't, either I'm working or learning. I don't just usually, unless it's my chill day. Now yesterday I watched Lupin, okay? I stayed on the couch because it was Sunday. But if it's during the week, and especially during working hours, I'm not just like on the phone, just kicking it. Like I'm either listening to a podcast about crypto or something economically that can sharpen me, that makes me think, that makes me ask questions, or I'm on the phone doing a deal. And so I think that's the thing that people have to, even in the midst of handling life's issues, because we're in ministry too. So we have something going on with some precious people that are very dear to us. So I'm still having to, take care of them and making sure they're okay. So I think the discipline comes not just mentally, but also emotionally, knowing how to pick up the emotion that you need to have in that moment and put it down when you need to put it down.
Hold that thought. Stick a pin. That would be my next question. But first, I want to tell you guys, it's funny because I did four different areas in New Jersey yesterday while Dr. Jules was on her couch. Sunday, I traveled from 3 hours to Ocean, then another 3 hours to Camden, and then another 3 hours, and I then came back to New York City close to 12 o'clock. So when you talk about having to do the due diligence, it's for real. And you have to know when to go and when to stop. And these are the things that you're talking about. So here's my question. How do you juggle? You probably get asked this all the time. How do you juggle marriage, the church, and business?
Jesus. He is my help. I'm serious, like for
it.
real. Nah, he is my help, like for real. But God has also given me an amazing team. Like Marquita's here with me, amazing, brilliant, creative beauty that really assists me in marketing. And then Camille's at home ordering our Uber Eats. You know, she's back in Tennessee managing things, and then she is somewhere else, and then Nicole is in Miami. And so we have a whole team of people that we've come like family. And without them, there's no way. And then I got the housekeeper that handles my stuff domestically, because if my house gets messy, it throws me off. So I need everything clean. So I've got the domestic team. Then I also have the, you know, the organizational team. And then I've got a personal assistant that's been on for 3 or 4 months. She's learning the brand. She's catching up and starting to create and come with ideas. Because I always tell people I don't like to bring people on for like employees. I look at them as partners, like, because if we grow, we're gonna all grow together, right? So the team is key. And I think for people of color, especially women, I think learning how to receive. Like, it's no way you're gonna be able to go to the next level, you know what I mean, without help. You gotta be able to have help, and then you gotta be able to know when it's time to get your help. And then you got to be able to know when it's time to bring on another skill set. So that's why most entrepreneurs kind of stay small business, because if you don't start bringing on those other skill sets, you can't take yourself to the next level.
You see my smile, right? You see my smile. Hey guys, let me tell you, if you're making more, and in order to make much more, you have to have a team.
Yeah, you have to.
And your team has to grow. Something you said in that is so vital. You said something. You said you have to know when your team needs an assistant.
Yeah.
You have to know when Marquita needs an assistant.
Yeah, she got one now. Latavia.
She got one now. Shout out to Marquita. Awesome young lady. So, hey, I'm having a whole lot of fun here.
Yes.
I speak for everyone. I try to engage everyone in conversation, but you're hearing it straight from someone who lived it and continue to live it and do it. You're watching and you're listening to Keith's Financial Fix with Keith Simon. We'll be right back.
Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGems.com, KeishaGems.com.
Guys, we're friends, right? Well, the sign of a true friend is when they discover something good, they share it with you. And that's what I'm gonna do today. This is Loretta's British Ginger Tea. It is amazing. It's got 100% ginger, cinnamon, elderberry, and Manuka honey. Gotta admit, don't know what Manuka honey is? Not even sure what it does for you, but it just sounds healthy, so I need some. This tea is fantastic for boosting your immune system, helps you feel good, and you'll live out loud like our beautiful British friend Loretta Nakwacha. Please hit her up on Instagram, order some of this tea, and she is at farmers markets and pop-up shops everywhere. You gotta get some of this stuff. Not only is it good for you, but it tastes great. Loretta's British ginger tea. I got some, you need it too. Go and order now.
Hey, welcome back to Keith Simon and Keith Financial Fix. I have no other than the fabulous, the awesome, the fantastic, and there's all kinds of other words to describe Dr. Jewel. Hey, Dr. Jewel, I had a conversation with my niece the other day. She texts me and she says, hey, Uncle Keith, I know you do business and I want to do business. I want to do my own cosmetic line. So I said, cosmetics? I said, do you know cosmetics is the number one money maker in the world? She said, no, but I figure. Right. So she said, my question is, do I have to, I'm 12 years old, do I have to pay taxes?
What a great question. What a great question. And I have to go back to the team thing. I was telling you how much I love my team, but when it comes to my husband, like, I just make sure that he's good in terms of the pantry being stocked, food and all that, but can't nobody really assist him with me but me. So I just want to say that. But anyway, so for your needs, what I would say, that, yeah, I mean, initially she'll have to pay taxes, but what we'll do, you know, we would teach, and this is one of the things I have coming up at the Wealth Blueprint that's going to actually be at my home in September. And I think we have about, 15 spots left, but we're going to be talking about how to get a family trust, a business trust, and a private family foundation set up so that you legally don't have taxes. And the beautiful thing is that because you're her uncle, if you do it, you can make her a part of that trust. So when people say, oh my gosh, why didn't President Trump pay taxes? Or why doesn't Warren Buffett pay taxes? That's legal. That's actually legal. And so you can get that documented on a Supreme Court level. And so basically that's one of the things that our wealth firm does. We teach people how to get all those things set up.
Oh my goodness. Well, I must tell you, I absolutely sell a trust.
Oh, yay.
I love
so you do living trust?
I do everything.
Okay, so you do living trust. So I would love to see. So this is a complex trust. I like living trust, but this is a complex trust, which is one step up. We used to have a living trust before we knew about the complex trust. But the living trust is great, but the complex trust gives you more utilization from a no tax liability standpoint. Living trusts do protect assets, right? So that's good. But the complex trust, not only does it protect assets, it protects liquidity, and you can use it for the generations to come and not have tax liability.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, are you learning something? Because when a lot of people ask me about the issue with, unfortunately, with that same success leaving clues, right? So you have our former president saying it every single day, and no one looks into it. We just sit back and say how lucky he is, or how savvy he is, or how not so savvy he is, or how untrusting and untrustworthy he is. But the reality is, if this is legal, it's legal. Why not learn it?
Right. Exactly.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes we spend so much time not liking maybe the certain characteristics of a person. But if a person is successful, even if I don't like everything about him, I can still learn something from him.
Absolutely.
Because the man has filed bankrupt, 10 times and always landed on his feet. There's some things that he knows how to maneuver laws, right? And investing that gets him back on his feet. So you may not like him socially. There are a lot of things I didn't agree with, but from a business standpoint, yeah, definitely brilliant.
Absolutely. And you know he is because some of the millionaire minds talk to him all the time.
All the time. Write books with him, talk to him, all of that. So sometimes we have to separate emotion from, I don't like what this person does or what they represent. Hey, that's cool, but you might also be able to learn some things from this person too, and I think that's what especially people of color, I want us to not be like, because if you're not careful, you'll be closed-minded to the wealthy.
Yes.
Because what happens is when somebody is wealthy, usually they're on a bigger platform, so that means that they're more exposed. So now when you don't see necessarily if Shakita is broke and got character issues, you don't see it. Just because she's not on the platform. So the person becomes wealthy, all of a sudden now they're on the platform, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did such and such. Okay, don't get on that rabbit trail so much. Find out what value that they have that maybe you can learn from. So maybe that when you get on the platform, you can make different decisions. But if you just stay mad, you're not gonna learn anything.
Absolutely. That brings me to another awesome question that I had. 3 things that, much as yourself, that you know for sure that successful people?
I think most successful people are givers. I think most of them are givers.
You heard it.
Yeah, I think most are givers. I think most are tithers.
Yes.
And I think most are givers. And I think they give consistently. And then I think most are investors, and most are curious. And so they're always learning. So it's why even if it looks like they're in the tight, they still come out swinging. Because their mindset is, if this didn't work, then, and that's why it's the difference between an entrepreneur who might open up a mom and pop shop and never really grow than a person who has like a big business or investor mindset. They're hanging around other investor mindsets. So you're always learning. I can't tell you how many deals come to me every single week. First, I pray for them, or how many people I meet all the time that can help aid in building our empire. But I'm looking for it.
Yes.
I'm expecting it. I'm like, what you know that I don't know?
So let me ask the curious.
Yeah, you gotta stay curious.
Gotta be curious.
You gotta stay hungry. You gotta stay hungry.
Gotta stay hungry.
Hungry.
Grinding.
Yes.
So you gotta stay curious. You gotta always know that you're gonna give. I like the giving part because and of course we have to always be investing. And the investing part, my understanding of that is not just investing in the market and so on, but investing in people.
Yeah, definitely. You need to invest in people. You need to invest in the market. You need to invest in foreign exchange, binary options, cryptocurrency, real estate, gold, silver, personal development. You need to put yourself in situations where you're around movers and shakers. And then when you meet the movers and shakers, go back and follow up with them.
Absolutely.
I met, my husband and I did DJ Envy Celebrity Car Show a couple weeks ago. We had our trucks in it. And I met a gentleman who is doing phenomenal things in the mortgage industry and real estate industry. We exchange information. I've been busy, he's been busy. And I thought about it like, I need to talk to him because I'm ready to do something different in real estate. So let me reach out to him.
Wow.
And then I met a woman there who does all of DJ Envy's insurance stuff, where her mom does a lot of stuff in real estate, buying and flipping, wholesale. So I reached out to her. So a lot of it is making sure you cultivate, because you can meet somebody, but it doesn't mean you learn how to cultivate a relationship. All relationships don't need to be cultivated, but there are definitely some relationships you need to cultivate so that you can continue to extract out of them what they learn. Because they're not gonna always necessarily call you, but if you become a part of the squad, you're gonna always know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know is that you have to, when you talk about literally being curious. See, a lot of times curious is not only just about questions. How about curious to read something different? How about curious to read, period? My understanding is that successful people read at least 3 or 4 books a week.
I don't, but that's good.
But that's something.
That's good though. Yeah. But it's good. I mean, I do read, but I don't read 3 or 4 books. But my hat is off to people to do that.
That does it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those 3 things, I hear it, and guys, not only I hear it, but every successful person that I've spoken to, always stay hungry, always stay sharp, always on the grind. Because at the end of the day, in order for Dr. Jewel to take care of all these PR, you have to make
That's right.
Here is the big deal about that. When you make that money, you're helping another family. And that brings the term when you talk about giving. More successful people give. The reason why I came into this industry is because I wanted to give.
Yeah.
You guys know my story as a social worker. I didn't care about money, but I cared about giving.
Right.
How else can you give if
Right.
you don't
If you don't have it.
So I'm not gonna say that. I want Dr. Jewel to say that. How can you give? And you'll finish my sentence.
I mean, the only way you can give, if you don't have, you can smile at them. You can pray for them. He can say, Lord, heal them.
Yeah.
But you can't really help. No real impact is made without wealth.
Absolutely.
I mean, in order to make real impact, you gotta have wealth, especially now in 2021. Like it's a mandate. It's a mandate on my life, and I think it's a mandate on a lot of people's lives. And you know, I think it's really good too. Like you said, socially, there are some people who are like, I don't care about money, and I'm like, you're not gonna make impact.
Absolutely.
Maybe with a small group, but if you really want to make impact in the world, it's gonna take wealth.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your group.
Millionaires Club. So I started it about 5 years ago. It started off as a book club because I wanted to get women just having the wealth conversation. I wanted to have the conversation. I wanted to hear from their perspectives. I wanted to hear what they thought about money, what they thought about moving out in business, and that's how it started. And so now we have an online platform where we do 2 Zooms a month, and then we also do getaways where we get together intimately. Usually I try to keep it around 50 people. If we do conferences, then it's a lot bigger. But yeah, in these getaways, we do a deep dive into wealth. And we kind of examine every category of wealth, right? Because there's so many different dynamics to talk. And there are a lot of women who still believe, can I really be successful and be married? Or what if my husband is intimidated by my wealth? That's still a very big thing. That's a whole nother thing. So we kind of talk about all of that, how to negotiate deals. And most of these industries, especially in the financial market, are very male dominated. So how to still embrace your femininity and be at a table with a table full of men, you know?
Awesome. Hey, I know also for sure that what you mentioned is so true, because that is also changing fast.
Yeah.
Where I work, it's about 70 to 30%.
Oh, that's good.
Of course, the
That's
male
good.
are making the majority of the male are making more. But if you collaborate the amount that the females are making versus the male as a whole, doesn't even come close.
Yeah. My industry is still very male dominated.
Yeah.
Very. So you have to marry a man that's very secure. Because I deal with a lot of men, but my husband like, I'm daddy, I don't care. I love it too. I love it. I'm married to the right one, but
Yes.
everybody wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes there are different dynamics there. So you want to be able to build your king so that you can go out and do what you need to do, and there's not insecurity. But he also is very much in his purpose and very clear on who he is as a man. So that really helps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but man, I feel so lucky. You've been listening to and watching Keith Financial Fix with Dr. Jewel. And I tell you guys, where can we find you?
Everything Jewel Tankard. Everything Jewel Tankard. Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, website, jeweltankard.com.
Everything Jewel Tankard. Is that easy enough? Hey guys, remember that cryptocurrency book is going to drop soon.
Yes,
Can
August 1st.
Can I get an autographed copy?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I got
man.
you. I got you.
Yes. All right, guys. You're watching again, Keith Financial Fix, and thank you so much.
Absolutely.